Are you afraid to love? I'm not talking about romance type of love. I'm talking about unconditional love. Are you afraid of it? Let's find out. Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Noah, back again with another video. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. In today's video, I actually want to talk about if you are afraid of love or afraid to love. You see, and I'm not talking about romantic type of love, love in terms of certain romantic relationships, right? I'm talking about unconditional love that comes from the heart. You see, a lot of us, we live our life afraid of love. We live our lives afraid of love. Now, what does this mean exactly? We let fear take over our lives. A lot of the times people let fear control what they do on a day-to-day basis. You see, love is the highest frequency. The opposite of love, what is it? Some might say hate, but we have to understand that behind the hate is, there's a deeper element, which is fear. Fear is what drives hate. This is why Jesus was killed on the cross. It wasn't because people hated him, it's because people were afraid of him, right? People, obviously, yes, they did hate him, but it was because it was rooted in fear, right? They were afraid of his new ideas. They didn't understand what he believed in. And it was because they didn't love themselves, right? Now, I think this can be a catalyst for a lot of people living their lives today, right? A lot of us are afraid to love. We're afraid of love. And I'm talking about unconditional love. I'm talking about hugging our siblings, hugging and kissing our siblings. This is the love that I'm talking about. I was watching the NBA draft, I think last year, and LaMelo Ball was getting drafted, and I saw something that was very, shocking to me. He was sitting with his dad, and as soon as he got drafted, he dapped up his dad. Now, if you don't know what a dap is, it pretty much means where someone goes like that. It was kind of like a half-assed, like it wasn't a hug. And this floored me because it made me see that a lot of people are afraid to express love. They're afraid to hug somebody. And this is prevalent. Why? Because we're afraid of there are some aspects of ourselves that we're actually afraid of. That's where self-loves come in. That's where self-love comes into play. You see, a lot of us are driven by fear. We're driven by fear through belief systems of our parents, or certain things our family members say to us, or certain things that are perpetuated onto us from school, right? It might be the teachers, it could be the students around us. But there's a lot of fear within the collective consciousness right now specifically, right now especially, but within our society. And so I come on here to make this video to ask you, are you afraid of love? Are you afraid to love? And so ask yourself that question, because when we live in a state of fear, right, we're not truly living from the heart. right? When we live in love, we are living through the heart, right? We are fearless. We are taking action towards things we want to manifest in our life. We are creating the reality that we want to, right? It's not being driven by somebody else. It's being driven by us because we are the ultimate creators. You see, we are not afraid of love. When you're not afraid of love, you're not afraid to take action. You're not afraid to live life on your own terms. You know, you're not afraid to put up boundaries because it is out of love. Love for yourself. Right? Self-love. And so I think it's important to understand that we must activate our hearts, or our heart chakra, which is the 5th chakra, which is actually located right here. We have to activate this chakra in order to start living life on our own terms, because when we activate this chakra, we activate self-love. And when we have self-love, then that is when we ultimately give love towards others. And that is when we live in a state of love rather than living in a state of fear. And this is what ultimately attracts us, our deepest desires. Our biggest dreams and aspirations come from a state of love. You see, a lot of people nowadays are living in a state of fear because they're afraid of love. They're afraid to truly accept themselves. We live in a state of fear because we don't want to accept parts of ourselves. Right? There's parts of ourselves that are being suppressed. There are parts of ourselves that are being suppressed because we don't want to accept part of ourselves. Right? We're afraid to step into the unknown. We're afraid to let love guide us. Right? When we follow our hearts, the universe works in our favor. You see, and that is the ultimate secret into manifesting the life of your desires, the life of your dreams, is to realize that love is the answer. Right? And it is when we start to love ourselves and accept who we are, that is when we start living from our hearts. That is when we start living from a state of love. That is when we stop living from a state of fear, which is one of the lowest vibrations. When we live in a state of love, right, that is, we're living from the highest vibration. And that is when life works ultimately in our favor, because we aren't afraid of the unknown. We're not afraid to express love onto others as well as ourselves, right? And so I want to end this video with asking you, are you afraid of love? And if you are, really try to acknowledge the aspects of yourself that you've been denying for a while, for some time. Right? It happened with me. I didn't truly love myself at first. It took me, relationships. It took me poor relationships. It took me poor friendships to realize that there were aspects of me that I was denying. Right? And it is when we accept these, every single aspects of ourselves, whether that be physical, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, right? When we accept every aspect of who we are, this is when we start to live life freely. This is when we become free. This is when we break free of the matrix, right? Nobody can stop us. We're unlimited. We have limitless potential. And so that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. But I wanted to come on here to bring the question as we hear the beautiful birds singing today. It's such a beautiful day outside. I'm so grateful for where it is that I live, because I get to come out here in sunshine, right? Each and every day. And so ask yourself, what are the parts of you that you're denying? Do you accept yourself fully 100%? Because this is a start to our ascension. And so Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to let me know down in the comment section below. I really, truly appreciate each and every one of you guys that have been watching my videos recently. I've been getting so much support and I'm super grateful, so thank you so much. This is only the beginning, guys. There's a lot I have planned for you guys, so that being said, guys, have a wonderful afternoon, morning, or night wherever you're at. My social medias are all going to be right here. And peace, love, and happiness, my friends. Mwah. Let love guide you, baby, not fear.